Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 172 of the Dumb Marks podcast. And today is Rumble, baby, Rumble. It is the Royal Rumble today. It's me, Donald, here, and it's my week to host. So that means I get control of everything. So no matter what the show goes, it's my choice. I get to do whatever I want to do, and everybody just have to stick to the plan. So welcome to my show. We have Jason here. Chris is out of town real quick, and Steve will be on shortly. So, Jason, how are you today on this Rumble day?
I'm here. Let's just say that. A little eventful yesterday. Flooded my basement, so there's that. It sucks being a partial homeowner. I figured while all the water was on the floor, I might as well deep clean it and threw down too much ammonia. So I'm over here loopy, gassed out. It's
Got to open those windows.
You know me in Windows. I don't open shit.
Yeah. Nice not quad. Yeah, so one of our friends' 40th birthdays was yesterday, and I went out and had a few with him. You know, I'm such a lightweight boy. Man, it was rough. It was rough, man. Going out at our age, it's not fun anymore.
No. I can barely handle a drink of the week.
It's the very truth. Then plus the stuff I was doing yesterday was up around the 7s and 8s. So yeah, I was testing some stuff out. Oh boy. So let's see. Since it's my week and all that stuff, we're just gonna run through a few topics.
Okay.
I had a whole show planned out and everything, but so much breaking news that was going on this week in wrestling that I had to scrap a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do. So we might as well just get into the breaking news. And the biggest one, the allegations on WWE and Vince McMahon resigning from TKO yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, you talk about how things escalate quickly.
Yeah.
And stuff, especially on a Big Four weekend too. I was like, man, this is the pub that they definitely didn't want to have during the start of WrestleMania season.
Between the news and the step down, that was like immediately.
Yes, it was.
That was just a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
So in the midst of trying to find this shirt, I pulled out the old VKM shirt and was like, you got to tuck that way back in the back of the cover. That can't come out anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. That's with all my Velveteen Dream shirts now. Yeah, so we're not going to get into the allegations and all that stuff because they're really, really out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to read it, they're all over the internet. You can read all the allegations yourself. But just what's your thoughts on everything?
If this was known, he shouldn't have been allowed back to begin with.
Yes.
So this was already, I don't know who all knew this, but it was already known and released to people.
Mm-hmm.
So how is it just now coming out to the public? So is this public backlash that why he's resigning? Or is this because of public backlash?
Yeah.
Because everybody had to know if this was public knowledge, not public knowledge, but need to know if you're signing over stuff like this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you're doing a deal like this.
Yeah, doing a big deal like, Endeavor had to know what was going on.
Yeah.
Because from what I take from it, this was the investigation for all that hush-hush money cases that they were talking about like 2-3 years ago. And this is it. Like, finally, you're just putting faces and, names and stuff.
Yeah.
So finally, yeah. And I was like telling you earlier this week, I think there's more NDAs out there than storylines in wrestling.
In wrestling in general, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's just like everywhere you look, there's an NDA, an NDA, an NDA, an NDA. I mean, what did that say about the business? I'm like, it's mind-boggling. It really is mind-boggling.
Now, I don't know whose thumbprint is on this current iteration of WWE, but it's often soaring. So if Triple H is manning this and The Rock has input, maybe they can keep it going.
Yes. Yep, and then that was another thing that came up this week too. Rock is on TKO's board of directors, and he officially owns the name The Rock too, so he can use it whenever he wants to. It's officially his. So good for him.
So does this mean action figures don't come as The Rock? You gotta get Rocky Maivia or get his approval.
There'll probably have to be an approval. I think they already sat down and worked out that agreement. Or you're just gonna get the old Jordan day. You get The Rock, and it's just gonna be called R Player.
He was on First Take talking about he wanted to grow the brand even more.
Yeah, taking it back to like the territories, like they still want to. It looked like they still want to do that. Yeah, just keep reaching out into different cultures.
Only thing I didn't hear him say, I wanted to hear him say, bring people back in. Bring the fans that were once fans that used to watch wrestling back in. I know you want to reach new people, but bring your old audience back.
And how can they do that with the old audience? Not the way I like it. That means you have to bring more legends in to get them back. You'll need a linchpin somewhere. A linchpin's going to have to come somewhere. If it's somebody our age who stopped watching wrestling, who are you going to bring in? I mean, you already got Hogan there. He's like all from that generation is, either passed on or don't want to be involved with the business at all. I mean, it's only going to be those guys.
But do you need a person to come back, or just could you make it more interesting?
You have to make it more interesting.
Because there's no. I mean, the people who's already on that level who have already been back a million times.
Yes.
So.
And like I said, from that generation, very few are still here anymore. And even from the generation after, like Nash, still around. Brett, when you need him, he'll be there. Sean is here and all that stuff. Stone Cold, whenever. Yeah. So you just got to take a different route.
I mean, maybe The Rock being in charge might bring eyes back.
Yeah. And new eyes, too.
He's one that always they'll tune in. People may have stopped wrestling, but if The Rock shows up, they'll catch the clip. So
yeah. Because when I wasn't watching for 6 years, and you told me that one day was like, hey, The Rock is back. And I was like, what? And that got me back into it. Even though I'm a legend master, I was like, what, The Rock's back?
Maybe some more frequent TV roles. That's it. Just appear on TV more.
So congratulations to The Rock and all that and everything. Other news was they say that Raw is going to Netflix in January 2025. So off of TV altogether, starting then, and just stream. Thoughts about that?
I don't like streaming.
Yes.
Unless it's a movie. I don't like streaming like my TV shows or anything. I just like watching regular cable. But, I mean, do I have Netflix? Will I tune in? I will.
Yes. I definitely will tune in. I mean, because that's the only place you're going to be able to watch it. Yeah. Unless they do, they're like little hits on YouTube, if you don't want to watch the whole thing. And then I don't know how Peacock is going to do too, because that's their other streaming service. I'm not sure how long that contract is in place for.
They need to merge everything into one because it's hopping back and forth.
It's too much.
It'll be a mess, yeah.
Yeah, you need to streamline everything. To me, I look at just like how the NFL is and everything. Everybody's doing the streaming stuff. So I can eventually see like the big four you're going to have to pay for. How like UFC do it with ESPN Plus. You're going to have to pay for the service, and then you're going to have to pay for the show. At least for the big four, I could definitely see that. It might start off with WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You have to pay for WrestleMania, but then it's probably going to seep out into everything. And just like what the NFL did with the one playoff game, I could definitely see them charging for the Super Bowl now, since everybody, jumped on Peacock for that one playoff game.
At least they went with a more broader service.
Yes.
They'll be sticking to like a Peacock or if they were going exclusively to Fox or something like that. Their apps,
yeah. So because everybody at one point had Netflix, that was the original OG for streaming. So
You see how many people don't have Peacock just from being pissed off that the Chiefs and the Chiefs game was on there. So
yeah. Yeah, so we'll see about this. I mean,
that will they go to a live TV subscription?
yeah,
We'll be streaming live. That
is another thing too.
and then they're gonna crack down on that code.
Oh, they definitely gonna crack
They
down
already
on that.
have, but it's gonna be real strict. You can't leave your room and watch Netflix.
Chris, since he's not here, he mentioned some notes about the Raw to Netflix. He said it's interesting to see if Raw will stay on demand on Netflix for any period of time, or will go straight to Peacock the next day. Kind of defeats the purpose of being on Netflix if it don't carry it on demand too. WWE's Peacock deal expires in March 2026. So there we go.
Okay.
So WWE has testing the WWE network in other parts of the world roughly for a year on Netflix to see how it is. Yeah, so only Raw is going to be on Netflix for the US, but everything else around the world, like SmackDown and everything, is all going to Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically WWE network is going on Netflix.
Now they said with this deal, there's going to be that 3-month gap where USA no longer carries it and it's part of Netflix. So they have to make an announcement of what they're going to do for that little gap. And where can you find them?
Yeah.
We shall see.
Yeah. He also said Netflix isn't cheap. Will wrestling fans pay for 2 streaming services, or will they just wait to watch it on Peacock? It says, and will Raw become commercial free or limited commercials? And if it does go the route, would it be a shorter show? But he said that he saw Nick Khan saying it's still going to be 3 hours.
You just want to get the shit they see in the live audience. You want to see the Corner's Cure packages. You want to see the Be a Star packages. That's it. If it goes commercial free.
Yeah. But if you do want to see everything on Netflix, just go to our website, dumbmarkspod.com, and click our link for Surfshark VPN. We'll give you all the information we can need it, and you can watch it through Netflix Canada or Netflix UK. So help your boys out there. Okay, so those are our topics. Quick topics for breaking news that's happening this week. Mainly we're here for is the Royal Rumble. I mean, it's probably the most entertaining, most surprising pay-per-view out because you don't know what could happen.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, even though WrestleMania is the big blowout show,
it's the spectacle.
The whole spectacle. The spectacle. This is just like who's coming out next. Yeah. Who's going to be next? Who's going to win? And all that stuff. Well, who's going to win now is like sometimes like right off the bat. Yeah. Sometimes you don't. This year could be a toss-up, but it's mainly like who's coming out. Who's coming out. Who's coming out. There you go, Chris. It's just for you. So before we get into Royal Rumble predictions, we're gonna go through our Mount Rushmores and Jabronis of the week. So do you want to start with the bad, or do you want to start with the good?
Let's go. I'll go to good.
The good. All right. So we'll start with Mount Rushmore. My Mount Rushmore is a Trick and Briggs match in NXT. I think it was a good match between 2 big guys, 2 young talents, of course, bringing what they got. I am very interested to see them in a rivalry, especially if Briggs ride the line of being a heel and face. I think that's where his perfect where he should go at, because you don't know what it is. The ending and all the times with Mello and that stuff still continue the stale story that's going on between him and Trick. They're dragging off, giving his props to Trick and all that stuff, but he pointing at Mello at the end of the match saying, I'm done with you. I'm done with you. Like, what's that going to lead to? I mean, I know they already had 3 matches, but
I don't need that ran back.
Could be ran back in SmackDown, though. I mean,
could.
I mean, I
Yeah.
see a lot of them up at SmackDown, and like my 1B of that is Trick coming out on SmackDown and getting that nice pop from the crowd.
Ooh. You felt
Man,
like they knew the man.
yes. When they
It-
were saying, man, when they were saying whoop that Trick, I was like, man, this is like not quite there, but some LA Knight
mm.
like pop going on there.
if
And I
you
thought
want
nobody watched NXT,
if
but
you want to see the difference between black and gold and 2.0, just the merging the two.
yeah,
Yeah, they're sprinkling little seeds on the main roster, and you're getting the crossover eyes.
yes, you
So
are. Mm-hmm.
that was
Yeah,
big.
but that pop, I was like, wow. Like, I'm
Yeah,
like, the fans are watching NXT to know
yeah,
that stuff because you're not going to know that off of just regular main roster TV
yeah.
at all. So, again, good for Trick. Definitely making the best of his push of all, and just hopefully they still ride this line with him very, very well.
Yeah.
But that's my Mount Rushmore for the week.
Mine goes to the NXT women's division. I feel like everybody in there has a purpose, is in a storyline, is doing something. You really don't see any jobbers or enhancement talent. They're getting like the level up work, and it's just interesting to watch.
Yes.
And it was like I think it clicked when like Electra came out and hit her promo, because usually she was on the side doing nothing. She hit her promo, and then I'm like, you know what? Everybody's doing something. And then when I seen it, I was like, she could have went up.
Yes.
She could have went up with Logata and them and been with the thing. And then here you go. Here comes Friday. She pops up with Legato. Or with,
Interchangeable.
Interchangeable, yeah. And it's going to have you looking back to see what she's doing on NXT.
NXT. It's like Shawn and Hunter are like on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
With everything.
Let me borrow somebody. I'll throw you somebody. That's
yes. Like the old ECW and WWE days back then in the 90s.
Yeah.
Just like that. Yeah, but it is. Yeah, the women's division in NXT is amazing.
Yeah.
It's probably the only one that's being like used right from what I watch. I don't watch TNA, unfortunately, so I don't know how the Knockouts division is being used and that stuff. But from what I watch, that is the division that is being used completely right.
To its fullest, yes.
Just everything. So, Chris has his Mount Rushmore, and he said his Mount Rushmore of the week is TNA. He said another decent showing on Impact this week, and also brought back Explosion as their secondary weekly show. AEW needs to watch Explosion and think of a format like this.
Yes.
And again, for me, I don't watch TNA, so I don't know what Explosion is or how they format their show or anything like that.
I wonder if it's like I don't want to say like a Rampage. Is it like a Rampage or is it like an Elevation?
If it was like Rampage before, when Rampage first came out, okay. Yeah. Because Rampage now is just bad. Yeah.
I seen Moxley on there. I was like, okay, maybe they're doing something. No. It was still the same.
Yeah. Who's he help? I was like, who's he helping on there? Nobody. Nobody.
So with TNA, you got I want to say it Nick Nemeth. I don't want to call him particular.
That's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough saying.
Yeah, you got Nick Nemeth drawing eyes, and you got Mustafa Ali drawing eyes. So they're in a good position right now.
Yeah, well, good for them.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that I could watch it.
That's the only thing these things need to work. These two need them and Ring of Honor need to work on accessibility.
Okay, so Chris said there's 2 matches and recap mixed in. Okay, so it sounds like remember how old main event was?
Oh, okay.
Like the build up.
Yeah,
like the build up and then do the match or something like that.
So,
or like old NXT. Old NXT used to be like that too.
Anytime you say recap, I just think Bloodline. We're getting a bloodline segment.
From beginning to the end.
The whole segment.
Right, so those were Mount Rushmores.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move into Jabroni of the week. And my jabroni was easy. I mean, I watched stuff this week, but NXT is where I lie. The junior varsity versus Littlefoot match. I mean, for people who don't know, that's Lexus King, and I don't know who the other guy was out of the tournament, who with DJ Nightwolf and whatever his name.
I don't forgot his name already.
Yeah, that match was bad. Those two are terrible. I'm gonna frankly just say out. Those two were terrible.
The Littlefoot reminds me of Sanger when he first came up. No, not Sanger. Veer when he first came up to the roster. Big move and raw. Big move, raw. This dude was just screaming after everything like he's imposing. Nah, you just look like a garbage man in brown pants, man. Just...
Remind me of T-Hawk on Street Fighter.
This is where I think they're messing up with the NIL deal.
Okay.
Like you can't turn every O lineman, D lineman into a wrestler. Like that's all you got from the guys are big men.
Mm-hmm.
At least with the women, you got different. You got people from basketball, track, soccer, all over the place, volleyball, and they're thriving. You just with the NIL for men's, you're just signing big men.
Mm-hmm.
And try to turn them into monsters. We can't do that.
So you said they're better off going to the CFL or
some of these guys.
Been a bit of UFL or something.
Some of these guys, yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I don't know if WWE or I should say NXT is still doing like you got the 6 months to see if you progress. If you didn't progress in 6 months, you're done.
I haven't seen any like major releases from that because they're like 3 classes in, and if I haven't seen any releases.
Yeah, and then I don't know if stuff changed since they got bought by Endeavor also.
Yeah,
yeah, but there was a lot of other jabroni stuff for me, AEW wise. Edge just beating Suzuki. I'm just like, come on, man. It just seemed like that they're just giving, Adam Copeland, they just giving him wins since records mean something now, just attack on wins. That's like a college powerhouse football team just beating up on cupcakes, But yeah, we're just getting wins so we get good rankings and be up there in the title picture.
Where were those NCAA teams? The cupcakes that you scheduled back in the day.
The one AA West, 1 AA Northwest, something like that. I mean, that's all what it's going to be to me with like all these records. This is like everybody's just going to be piling up on stuff, just beating jobber after jobber, and just be like, "Hey, look at my 24-0 record." And it's going to be validated because your record is 24-0, so I get a title shot.
I can see that. I'm more mad that they dropped out Suzuki again. That's just his. He's on a job in World Tour.
Let's see, man. That's something I missed during my research. I want to know what his record is in AEW since he came over to AEW, because I see more losses than wins from him.
You're just drawing them in for the name.
That's it.
Trying to build other people off it. So
draw for the name, get the crowd pumped up, say his little cheer, and just hit the mat for the 3. That's all you get.
Looking up at the lights.
That's it. So yeah, so those are my 2 jabronis for this week.
I have 2. One is the backlash for Bianca being on the cover of 2K. It wasn't much, but I was in the comments and people were just like, "What did she do to belong here?" Like,
what do you mean?
She held down the women's division when when Mommy was hurt, Becky was hurt,
Charlotte was gone.
Charlotte was gone. You weren't doing anything with Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Sasha gone.
Yep, over 400-day champ, main eventer,
all kind of charity, all kind of charity.
Yeah, fan favorite, and you got your own TV show. What do you mean? What is she doing, and how does she deserve to be on there? Nah, that trash take. I know why. You know I didn't want her on there.
Yeah. Her ponytail was too long. That's the reason.
To just discredit her is just ridiculous.
That's the IWC for you.
That is. 1A or my main one is this Sasha and Okada reporting. Like, I think it's just doing it for clicks. When they said my man was going to NXT, and that was like reported by like reputable sites, and then had to retract a couple hours later because like you can't reach Okada. Come on, what are we doing here? We're just throwing shit out there just to get clicks. I ain't gonna lie, that Chase U Okada.
Oh, the best, yeah. If you didn't see it, they had Okada in a Chase U shirt. Probably one of the funniest things.
Gold. That's the one thing I hate about this time of year is contracts are up. Who's going to be in the Rumble? And you just got false reporting.
Yeah.
I just want to go back to a day where I didn't know.
Very true. Yeah. People was arguing about him being in NXT. Like, what is he doing in NXT? He's a bigger name than NXT. People saying he got to get used to the WWE style cameraing and all that stuff.
You can work that on the PC.
On the PC, yeah. I mean, whenever AJ came, he didn't have to work anything.
Nope, straight.
He just came straight out.
Who knows what Jay Cargill's doing?
Mm-hmm. That might have something to do with tonight.
Might.
But we'll wait for that next segment. Chris said that he didn't watch enough for Jabroni, so he said Vince McMahon is his default.
Yeah, that would have been everybody's number 1A.
Yeah,
that wasn't the main topic. So
yeah. It's either him or TK. It's always going to be Jabroni about something. Oh boy. He said I heard Okada's gonna be the new WWE chairman. You mean TKO chairman, right? Oh boy. All right, so those were our Mount Rushmores and our Jabronis for the week. So let's get into what we really came here for, the Rumble.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're doing our predictions for the Rumble today. I do have Chris's.
Do we have a full card?
Yes, we do have a full card. We have 2 matches and 2 Rumbles.
Okay.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's enough because you know how long the Rumble matches
go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's get started with the WWE United States Championship. We got the champ Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens.
I want Owens to win, but Logan just signed a new deal. Didn't say how long, so I'm pretty sure they're probably going to keep the belt on him.
Logan taking in the Mania.
Possibly.
I do see Logan Paul retaining and taking it to Mania. How many title matches have Kevin Owens lost in these last couple of years?
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Except for
I mean solo, yeah, not tag with Sammy, but solo. It is a lot.
You had 4 with Roman, right?
4 with Roman by himself.
11.
I mean, whenever you lose 4 titles shots like that in a row, and possibly a 5th one like that, are you 1990s Bills?
I wouldn't mind. They should put the belt on him.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see it because he's there every week. He'll be. I mean, with him being the champ, I feel there'll be more like a
following.
I don't want to say open.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say an open challenge, but at least you're going to get defended like multiple times.
Yeah.
Throughout the month.
And at least the belt will be on TV too.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you what the belt looked like until I seen him on this podcast.
Yeah,
forgot it.
Yeah, at least the belt will be on TV because Roman's not there, so your 2 main titles are like not on TV.
Yeah, and the tag's on Raw.
Yes. So what's the only belt you truly have? EOS.
That's it.
And now the Kabuki Warriors with them being a thing. And congratulations to them on winning.
Didn't like that call.
My girl Kyrie can't do no wrong, so
I like Katana and Chance. I like Kaden and Katana. But it's just like once you put it on the Kabuki Warriors, it's going to take a long time, and you got to build somebody to get it off them. And right now, I don't think there's no way to take it off them.
No, especially with Damage Control doing like all their stuff,
mm-hmm.
You know, because that's a story within itself.
Yeah,
as well. Chris has Owens. He wants to see Owens, but he can see Paul retaining until dropping it at Mania.
Yeah. Would you run that back at Mania?
To me, I wouldn't. With Logan being at Mania, I need some flash. I do need a little more flash.
Who would you like to see him with?
Dominic Mysterio.
I was just thinking off match-wise, and I was thinking Mello, but I don't want that too soon.
No, that's too soon.
I want to see. I want to see that match, but I don't want to see.
It seemed like Mello fought him already, with being with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller together makes Logan Paul.
You fought the essence of Logan Paul.
It do seem like that. It's just like it seems like Mello's fighting the same person over and over again.
Look, him and Theory can run that match back a million times and I watch it. So
yes, those two have some chemistry. They do. All right, so next match we're going into is the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. We have the champ Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles versus Randy Orton versus LA Knight.
Look, there's no story in this match. That needs to be finished. So Roman's winning this match.
I think they just put this together just to have a title match on the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you're as young as my nephew to you being as old as my grandfather, everybody knows Roman ain't losing this match.
You know. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know why they even put a match on. They should just have him in like via satellite or something like the winner. What did they say? This is like a waste of company's assets.
He says it's the essence of Logan Paul. Like,
yeah, this is like a waste of company time, a waste of assets. It's like turning on the lights during the snowstorm, and you know nobody's coming into your building.
I expect to see a good match.
I expect a good match, but
I expect the pops to be unreal. I mean, you got 4 superstars, four. I don't want to say you could say fan favorites, but you know Roman's like the fan favorite heel. How do you say that?
Yeah, definitely Roman. Chris also said Roman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just like what are we doing here?
We're gonna make it a 4 for 4. Steve said Roman.
He said Roman also.
Please sweet.
All right. So that brings us to the Women's Royal Rumble match. For me, this is still a complete toss-up.
Yes.
I was thinking about it all week, and I still cannot come up with a winner. I could come up with a few surprises. I can't come up with a sleeper, but like a winner, I have no idea. I'm leaning on 3 people hard because of story, but I just don't know.
I'm feeling the same way. I still haven't picked. I'm going to go on a fly whenever I name it. Mm-hmm. But where do you want to start?
Let's start with surprises.
Surprises?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's start with a surprise. 2 surprises for me. And I've been saying it all week, all month, and everything like that. Whenever they first broke the news and saying that Mercedes Moné contracts broken down with WWE, that is the ultimate red flag right there of saying that she's coming back to WWE. You don't put out reports like that and not expect the person to show up. I have Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks, coming back tonight.
Okay. I don't have her, but I dug out the shirt just to say I can be like, I called it. If it happens.
And normally the surprise like area is like number 3 for some reason earlier in the thing. I'm gonna give her middle of the match and say she'll be number 15.
I've been seeing reports she's signed, she hasn't signed, talks broke down. Her music is all Spotify now, which means it's licensed by WWE. I'm like, just anything to say anything, man. Just look, all I want is her back on my TV screen. That's it. I don't care where you go. I'm more AEW. Time's ticking, so get back on my screen. One of my surprises, I'm going to say they roll out Jade Cargill.
Okay.
If she wasn't in the women's battle royal on NXT, which would have been a surprise, they'll put her in this.
Yeah, because she's been away for a long time.
Yeah, and they stopped the vignettes and everything. So
yeah, she's been away for a while.
Time to roll her out. See what she got, and it's a good This is a good place to do it because you can hide people's flaws in Rumble matches.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
And then it's in Florida also too. So, you know, it seems like every wrestler lives in Florida.
You got any more surprises or returns? I'm thinking of big returns. Like
if returns are the normal. It's like Tori Wilson, Trish, Lita. You know.
Yeah, I have
Michelle McCool. Michelle McCool been returning how many Rumbles?
I have Sonya and Liv returning.
I was thinking about Liv, and I was also thinking about Raquel, but I don't know how if Raquel is hurt, still legitly hurt.
Yeah,
or not. But Liv is a good one.
That was going to be my winner. When Rumble season first started going in, so like, okay, she's going to be the surprise and the winner. You have that storyline with Liv or with Rhea. You could take it off Rhea, but I'm like, that's not a WrestleMania match. That's
yeah. No, that's not WrestleMania.
Series, that's big enough for Survivor Series. Maybe SummerSlam. That's not a WrestleMania match. So I changed there. You may get Carmella return.
Who's it?
You may get a Carmella or Bliss return. I know they just spit out kids, but
yeah.
And
on Alexa, she was just in the gym and that stuff, showing like the Men of Road is coming back and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm not sure if she's ready yet.
Okay.
But it'd be interesting. I mean, again, anything can happen, just Just like with Edge, I'm not even in town and all that stuff. The next thing you know, he's walking up the steps. All that. So there were some of our surprises. Sleepers. You have any sleeper winners? It would make it so bad. WWE didn't even mention like who's all going to be in it. I mean, they showed just like the faces of like 3 of them up front when they was
everybody who picked from the ball.
Yeah,
from the thing.
Yeah, that was it.
Honestly, I can't even think of a sleeper for the women's. Because to me, it's out of 2.
Yeah, because everybody seemed like they're, if you're not like the main ones being shown off, everybody else is in a tag.
Give me Roxanne.
Okay. I would say
she showed out last year, so
yeah. If it was 2 weeks ago, I would have said Cora.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, but as we know, she ripped her ACL, so she's officially out. But I'll go with sleeper wise, somebody, but maybe Zoe.
Zoe. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, because she had a hell of a year last year. You know, running with Trish and that stuff, being on the main roster. You know, establishing her spot. All right, so now the big one. Who do you have winning the Women's Royal Rumble?
It was between Becky or Bayley, and Bayley sold me last night with the vignette. Sold me with the vignette. I feel like she wins, and then when do they have to pick? They don't pick right away, do they?
No, they don't pick right away.
So I'm thinking stuff falls down between Damage Control, and she picks Io.
Okay. And that's where I was headed to.
Same.
That's where I was headed to. And Chris also has Bayley winning as well.
Yeah.
I think it's because of the story with Io and stuff falls apart. But I was also thinking in my conspiracy mind, what didn't Bayley win yet?
The Rumble. Oh yeah, you knew this. You knew this was coming.
Yeah, yeah. But she
one of these ones.
Oh yeah. So what did she win yet? You know, because everybody's checking off, resume boxes on everything. It seems like now. So, Bayley, it's your turn. My second person who was winning it was go be Nia Jax, because I think it's finally time for like a heavy, a bruiser to win a Rumble. Bruisers are just in there, throw out a couple like 7 to 8 people and then get tossed out. Like that's their role.
Yeah.
It was like with her, especially with the storyline that she's having with Rhea, it could be her time for a bruiser, a heavy, to win.
I like that call. I didn't even have her. She wasn't even a thought. It was just Bayley and Becky. Okay. I like that.
And then if Becky wins, my whole conspiracy theory is 100% right, which I told you guys before when he came out and just planting seeds and everything with Rhea. So if that happens, I'll stop watching the promotion altogether. For like the 5th time I said. So those are our women.
Did Chris pick any sleepers?
No, he didn't.
Surprises? Okay.
No. If you're still listening, Chris, sleeper surprises, if you have out there. Whenever Steve hops in, we'll let him run through, all of this stuff and see what he says. But now we will go on to. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong caption. The men's Royal Rumble match. Surprises, sleepers, and your winner. I have one surprise. Actually, I I had 3 surprises, but I had one main surprise. And it all. Go ahead, you go.
It ain't brother, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Did you see the promo last night on SmackDown?
I didn't see that one. No, I did see the Raw one.
He's talking about they coming down to St. Pete kicking the hornet's nest. Oh, and this was like brother rhetoric. Wasn't just this one interview Hulk. This is brother rhetoric. I was like, oh man,
this is
I almost put on the red and yellow.
I should have worn my Hulkamania stuff and that would have gave it away. My surprise is Hogan. Yeah, 40 years of Hulkamania running wild. You have new merch that is out. You have promos.
Whole line, not a shirt. Whole line.
You have promos all this week, and him hitting that stuff saying at the end of the one, you might have one last ride.
You got to watch that SmackDown one. You might think you might win it.
He gonna stop Roman Reigns in his track. Like, you're not getting my record.
I was waiting for him to call Mean Gene.
I literally have Hulk Hogan
as your surprise.
As my surprise. Even if he just comes just to get the pop. Throw somebody out.
Oh, number 30. Number 30.
Can you hear me?
We hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
I made it. Number 30. The last and final entrant to the podcast this week.
Look, he didn't have anywhere to be. He just wanted to plan this out. Just to...
No. Listen, I just got raked over the coals. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm brokered and broke right now. I just got a huge hit at the car dealership this morning. So I am, needless to say, I'm not a happy camper right now. I don't even have my car. I won't get it back till Monday. So yeah, it is not very pleasant in my household for me, but it is Royal Rumble Day. I have that to look forward to, but it's also my daughter's birthday tomorrow. So
Happy
birthday party
tonight. Happy birthday.
Yeah, so I don't, I got to figure out how I'm going to watch the Rumble live and everything else with all that going on. So yeah, this is not a hot start to it.
Like, Steve, we need you up here. Not right now.
Yeah, I got to see if Ty Dillinger comes back at 10. What are we doing? So yeah, I apologize for being 50 minutes late to the show. I'm sure you guys did a bang up job. I couldn't even hop on the audio only version until I got back to the crib. So that's why I wasn't on initially, this whole time. So again,
look, we got to about, I want to say, the end of Jabroni. I was looking at the time, like we was like at 30 minutes. I was like, "Ooh, this might be a short clip. This might
how you gonna stretch that out?" Yeah, I figured
this show might be long enough to put on TikTok.
The two people that talk the least on this show are the only two on the podcast today. Like, that is how is that going to work? Like,
we made it.
I got stuff. I got stuff. My show. I can stretch stuff out. When all that breaking news came earlier, I can bring some stuff back in.
I was expecting to come in here, hop on the chat, and see just a list of comments from Taekwon about how they let the two black guys on the show today.
What was the first comment?
What was the first comment?
Oh man. All right, so we're not going to rehash the card and everything else that you guys went through. I'll give my predictions for the Rumble matches itself. Roman's not losing, so you can get all that out the way.
We said it.
Yeah, we said that.
We wrote it for you.
Yeah. So there's that there. But from the women's and men's Royal Rumble matches, to me, people are like, "Oh, this is so unpredictable this year. You have no idea who's going to win and what's going to happen." No, it's not the case. You have 2 and a possible 3 2 in a possible. If we're playing spades, I got 2 books and a possible third in the men, and I got 2 books on the women's side. Now, if I'm playing spades and I only got 2 to 3 books, I'm trashing the whole hand. All right, and I'm just getting up from the table and walking away. On the men's side,
or you just went to the women's.
Okay, so the women's side, to me, it's either Bailey or Becky. Those are the only 2. If you have Bailey win tonight, then you immediately set up the damage control storyline, and she goes after Io at WrestleMania. Becky will then face Rhea after she wins the Chamber in Perth. That's the women's side. And you can flip-flop that scenario, whichever way you want. I'd rather see them give the win to Bailey since she hasn't won it yet. Becky don't need the Rumble, but those are my 2 on the women's side.
We all went Bailey.
Yep.
Bailey's my pick as well. So
there we go. So Becky's winning the Rumble. So
Becky's winning. Yeah, we're all wrong. You know, so yeah, so I got that from the women's side.
We just the men's on sleepers.
Or surprises. You know, I was just saying Hogan's going to be my surprise because there's too much brother go this whole week.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know you can't, but
absolutely
brother go this whole week.
There's no. I don't even want to say the quote because then people will tie it into somebody that's no longer with the company. And I don't want to get the show canceled. But okay, yeah. All right.
Look, he wasn't even there for me until that promo on SmackDown last night.
No, I'm not. I swear to God, if I hear Real American, if I hear Voodoo Child, or if I even hear Mr. America's theme song for the USA, whatever that bullshit was when he was coming out there.
I bet you can hear American Made as WCW music.
I'm turning it off. I'm throwing in my WWE card, and I'm not doing it. Not happening. No, he can't even get over the top rope to be eliminated.
No, he can't. They're gonna have to make an exception if it happens.
You know. Men's side. Before I get into my sleeper and surprises and whatnot, 2 and a third. You got CM Punk or Cody with Gunther being a third.
Exactly.
Based off Monday. Now, I will say my final 5 initially that I had would be Cody, Punk, Gunther, Drew, and Brock. Obviously, Brock's not going to be there now.
Yeah.
Right? So you can throw him out the wayside. So I got my final 4 being Drew, Gunther, Cody, and Punk.
That's what I came up with.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if they'll pull a swerve and have one of them get eliminated earlier than expected and not make the final 4, but I think for sure you got to build that intrigue to have Punk and Cody in there in the final 4. You have to.
Yeah.
I'd
did that Monday.
I'd slide Jimmy in there.
So Jimmy's an interesting case as somebody, but I feel like him and Jay, this is where they set up their road to their WrestleMania match.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Although Jay has, came out this week and said he wants it to be in a main event spot at Mania. And I think they have the history and the story to build to a main event since it's 2 nights.
Oh, yeah.
This year is not the year, though. So if they're going to do it this year, it's not going to be, for that particular title. Although, now that I'm sitting there thinking, if you have Jay in there, because Brock and Gunther potentially was Mania. So that's off the card too, right?
Off the card, yep.
Well, yeah.
So if you slide Jay into that spot and you have him and Gunther, you have him eliminate Gunther in that, and then you have Jay take the belt off Gunther at Mania, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Jay's hot. He hasn't had a singles title. Does he necessarily need the rub? Would he get a rub from beating Gunther after Gunther's historical reign? No, Jay's already a made guy. He's been there almost 20 years. Yeah. So, that part of it is washed out. But still, I think Jay's the guy that could have the hype surrounding him going into Mania to take the belt off Gunther. And that would be a great WrestleMania moment to see Jay win a title, which then you can translate into him and Jimmy going into SummerSlam. and maybe you can have the IC title main event SummerSlam, because who knows what Roman's schedule is going to be, or because they may keep the belt on Roman after Mania. We don't know. But Jimmy and Jay for the IC title at SummerSlam, that could be a main event.
Something. Oh, that would be something. Yeah. That could be up there with Brett Bulldog.
Right. You know what I mean? So I would maybe slide Jay in as a dark horse, as somebody to go after Gunther. But I like what Gunther said on Busted Open. Hey, I'm taking both belts. I'm doing the Warrior from WrestleMania 5. I'm carrying both of these straps. So don't expect nobody to beat me for this IC title, and I'm coming after Seth and taking his belt. So I was like, okay, well, Monday night gave me intrigue to throwing Gunther in there. I was going to have him as a dark horse anyways, even though he ended up in the final 2 last year. But Monday added another level of intrigue, especially if they're going to pivot and do Cody Punk at Mania and not have either one of them finish their story at this year's WrestleMania. So that would be mega heat. I'm not sure the fans would like that. They'd probably revolt. But they gave me just enough on Monday. I thought the promo segment between them two on Monday was great because they gave me enough that there was jabs and there was barbs. You hyped up them two going after each other in the Rumble, but there's more to the story to be told for a longer feud.
Yes.
So that could be a road to WrestleMania, even though neither one of them are going to be happy with not being in the main event. And that in and of itself is a story to tell going into WrestleMania.
Yes.
Hey, you cost me. No, you cost me. Now neither one of us are there. Well, now I got to get over you to get back to finish my story. And so there's a story there.
Yep. 2 shunned wrestlers.
Right.
So you're still on Rock Roman?
Rock been talking too much.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing with Rock. Everything that's gone on, do you emergency break glass and have him be a surprise entrance tonight? Because, I mean, the table, for lack of a better term, no pun intended, is set for an emergency break glass and have him there, if he can do it. I don't know. Probably not. Cena is probably more likely as an emergency break glass, but he's off doing movies
He's in
again.
Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah. So...
yeah, I'm not sure if Rock started his training regimen yet.
Right. Like,
readiness.
or even if you have him emergency break glass and he comes out after Roman wins the Fatal 4-Way.
Just for something. That wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be bad.
You know, fade to black on that. If you're gonna do the Fatal 4-Way last, I doubt it. Either one of the Rumble matches are gonna go on last.
Yeah.
But hell, even if you put the Fatal 4-Way in between both Rumble matches and you have Rock's music hit then and come out, you still have, like, that's a lot to get people talking if you end with the men's. Now, the last couple of years, they've been alternating which Royal Rumble goes last. And I think last year the men ended the show. The women opened the show. So I don't know if they'll flip-flop it this year too and keep that going.
No. The men opened the show last year.
We got Cody going wire to wire at the beginning of the show, and that's how they opened it. I could have sworn Cody was the end of the Rumble last year.
He was number 30 last year. I just watched it a few days ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I knew he was 30, but I thought they had that on last. I didn't know they realized that they opened with the men.
Yeah, because Roman and KO was last because of the whole bloodline stuff.
That's right. Okay. So then you have the men and main event the show tonight.
Yes.
All right. But yeah, the more I thought about it later in the week, trying to talk through different scenarios, the more I came up with, you have your final 4 in place. It's just, who do you want to be the guy?
Yeah.
So
with Gunther coming out, changed my opinion because of what Seth was going through.
And Drew. I mean, Drew's been doing some of his best work.
Yeah.
He has me completely interested with him on the mic. whether it's on air or it's him social media wise cutting promos on people, which is tremendous. And I wish some of those were actually on the show because
Like
they're
you keep
like a minute
saying.
and a half long and he's tearing into people and it's glorious and it's on social media, but not on the show. So we can save that discussion for another pod because I feel like that's something that needs to be discussed moving forward. But yeah, I don't have a clear-cut winner right now. My heart says Cody. My gut says Punk because he's not coming in to not main event.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cody winning at Chamber is more of a Cody storyline to overcome the odds, come back, finish my story. I got knocked down. I didn't win the Rumble. Boo-hoo me. Like that's more of a Cody arc than a CM Punk arc.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to do it that way, and I see Punk winning. But hell, I hope Triple H comes up with just madness and chaos.
It's a perfect time to do it. Something different.
Just throw everybody through the ringer and not, if you got Cody, Punk, Gunther, and Drew in the final four, and you got Gunther winning it, then I'm not mad at it.
I'm not mad at any of those picks.
So
any of them. I just don't want Cody going wire to wire. That's it. If he wins, he wins. I just don't want him going wire to wire. That needs to be like a feat that's only happens so often. It can't happen last year and do it again.
Yeah, no, I'm not for that either. So yeah, surprise wise, there's not a look. I really don't think you're gonna get the return of Sasha Banks. Naomi is probably a definite for me. Men's side, I don't believe Okada is coming regardless of what all the rumors and reports say. I really think Okada is going to sign with AEW.
I have that feeling too.
Have Priest cash in on Gunther for the IC title? Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm not mad at that because we haven't seen a cash in on the IC title. So if you're going to do something different, Priest, they're not going to put the main belt on Priest. Although Priest is my jabroni of the week because you had Seth Rollins out there on one leg. And you didn't go out and cash in.
I never even thought of that.
Dumbest wrestler in the entire world. You have a man that literally on one leg can't wrestle right now. Has to go away until WrestleMania, and you didn't use the cash in there.
That would be good.
That would have been.
If they did that, that would be cheap and good.
Yeah, that would have been. The heat he would have got.
The heat he would have gotten for that? Oh my gosh. And he could talk about, hey, Seth, you may have had the grandest cash in of all time at WrestleMania, but I had the smartest cash in of all time.
That would have been.
Perfect. But no, you saw Priest arguing with Drew on Monday night and sat in the back of catering until it was time for the main event. Which I didn't understand that positioning. I would have moved the Cody Punk promo segment face to face to the main event spot and not Drew and Priest.
Just ended like that.
I didn't like the ending. I see why they did the ending, but I didn't like the ending.
Yeah, I get it too, but I just feel if you're on the week of the go home show to Royal Rumble, like Cody Punk, that face off is the way to go to black with them two.
And it would definitely had you looking forward to Saturday. Like, I can't wait till Saturday. They're going after each other.
Right, face to face, fade to black, and the show. Perfect. But yeah, so Priest is my jabroni of the week because that's just about the dumbest thing I've ever seen a wrestler do. You literally have a guy on one leg and can't fight, and you don't cash in. But cashing in on the IC title, that's another thing that ain't been done.
And it's relevant now.
Right. It's relevant. Mm-hmm. So I get it. Like you're taking it off of one heel wrestler and putting it on another one. So the cash in doesn't necessarily work as much. But if you're going to move Gunther up to face Roman, what better way to make him a baby face by having Priest cash in on him?
Yeah. And it gives the Judgment Day another belt.
And more heat. So that's not a bad suggestion to have Priest cash in on Gunther. I can talk my way into that booking decision if they go that route. Again, add spice. Like, give me something different.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And now that Brock is out, Nick Mysterio. You have a free spot. Pull it.
You have to. We said last week on the show, Chris brought it up as the greatest idea. The three faces of Mysterio, Tom, and Nick. It has to happen tonight in the Rumble. It has to. Like, I don't care if you alleged you don't have 30 guys and there's not enough. You can bump you can bump a Titus O'Neil and somebody else off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You want heat? Hit Hogan's music and have Dominic
come out in the red and yellow.
He come running down the red past Hogan. The men's Rumble winner, like I said, I got 4 up there, and I can see any 4 of those guys winning it. But the two lead dogs are Punk or Cody, and you can, to me, Punk wins, Cody gets the chamber, and then you're at Mania again, depending. I would be more interested if they cost each other their shot, even though
that'd be a better story.
Even though the fans would riot.
Yeah, fans would be pissed.
Dave LaGreca would lose his mind if they do that. He's already blown a couple gaskets about Cody not being able to finish the story now because CM Punk's back. And then The Rock came out. So he's already there to lose his mind and go over the edge of the cliff. That in and of itself, for that rant, would be worthwhile of the booking decision itself. So yeah, surprise-wise, Naomi on the men's side, I really don't see anybody out there that's like, oh, holy shit. Besides, like, if you bring back a Ty Dillinger or somebody that'll just get a Rumble pop, but not somebody that's like, oh my God, look who signed with WWE. There's nobody really out there for that on the men's side right now.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, my surprise will be Hogan just because of all this stuff. My sleeper is Elliott.
You know who I would like as a sleeper right now to come in and get a little bit of a run based off of his reaction last night? Throw Trick out there.
Oh yeah, we talked. That was my Mount Rushmore. Man,
I was not expecting that response from that crowd last night when he came out. They had everybody chanting "Whoop that Trick."
Somebody's watching NXT.
This is the difference between Black and Gold and 2.0. They're sprinkling NXT on the main roster so it can cross over a bit.
But there's a difference between Trick and Mello too. And I know Mello gets all the praise and he's the 5-tool guy and everything. Trick just has something different about him on a main roster standpoint that gives him a leg up on Mello.
It's the talk.
And you saw it with the reaction last night.
The height.
The height? No, it's not the height.
No, yeah, it is. I don't know. Trick is coming around to just
something there, man. Like Mello hasn't gotten that type of reaction since he's been up there, and he's done work on the main roster.
He's going to have to. He's going to have to work his way to that reaction, like legit workhorse his way to that reaction in ring.
Yeah, I think the surprises on the men's side will probably be like NXT stars coming out.
No, for sure. Yeah,
give me a Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I was telling Jason earlier, like Triple H and Shawn are like, hand in hand with this stuff here, making smooth transitions and all that.
I will say we'll get the debut of Jade Cargill tonight in the Rumble.
That's what Jason said. Yeah, that was his surprise. Mm-hmm.
So I got Jade and Naomi. You can probably sprinkle in maybe like a Michelle McCool or a Melina or somebody like that from the old era.
Say Tori Wilson.
Yeah, I think we had Victoria last year. That was a surprise. But I wouldn't mind seeing, like maybe get a Tiffany Stratton in there.
Jason said Roxanne again.
Roxanne had to shine last year in San
Mhm.
Antonio, so I don't, not that she wouldn't be a bad choice to bring up again, but I think your surprises are more NXT based than outside the company signings coming in.
Yeah.
In my eyes, but minus Naomi. So yeah, I don't think you'll get Sasha in that regards. Yeah, so
Chris, he picked Punk for his winner, as I did. I'm just gonna go with my original thought. He also said with the Rumble itself, he says, I'm going to give predictions, but honestly, I don't give a shit about the company after this week. First WrestleMania season, I'm gonna sit out for a long time. They are 100% bench for me until they can get their shit together, and I doubt they will.
Ooh, that's big.
so Chris is completely out on WWE based on all the stuff that broke this week. I thought about whether or not I could separate the two, but he's so intertwined with the company, it's kind of hard not to. Like even watching the show last night, and the news of him stepping down broke a little bit before SmackDown started. But it's just like it was like a fog that was just hanging over the show. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Yeah, Lance Storm went in hard on everybody and said they need a complete gut job and overhaul of everybody in the offices. Anybody that was even remotely linked to any of this needs to go and be gone. So it comes down to like the Michigan sign stealing scandal, like who knew what and how do you prove who knew what? Like you would think Triple H would know this, but when this stuff happened, he was out with his heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
So like how who has clean hands and who doesn't at this point in time? Chris, Chris is going to get a lot of TNA and AEW in because he's off WWE right now. So yeah, TNA had another strong week for me. Jordan Grace and Trinity had an amazing rematch. That's followed up with the Ospreay and Alexander match from the week before. They got Mustafa Ali, his announcement at the end of the show saying he's coming to TNA on his world tour. So like they're hitting all cylinders right now and keeping buzz going. So I got TNA from another whole show perspective as my Mount Rushmore this week.
Chris had that also.
Yeah. For this revamp and this relaunch of TNA pay-per-view last week and then this week, they're on a very strong road. And if I'm Scott D'Amore, I'm picking up the phone and calling USA Network. Hey, I know you got the SmackDown starting, but we have this, show here. And I doubt that'll happen because, the whole TV and them being in the fold as a parent company and whatnot, but still, I need them to get on a bigger TV deal. And Santino was given an interview this week talking about them looking to get on a bigger TV platform. And he feels that's what's missing from them taking a huge step forward this year and getting more audience because the shows have been fantastic. So I'm all in on them getting new TV in that regards and moving forward there. Jabroni, Priest, Mount Rushmore, TNA. I had a lot of other stuff that I liked this week. AEW was hit and miss for me with their stuff again, like normal. Rampage was a good show last night, match wise, and they're lower card storylines. They're doing a good job of pushing those forward. Did you see the card for Collision tonight?
Yes, I did.
Bits and pieces, yeah.
Yeah. to go up against Rumble.
7 matches booked on that card. How you fit in 7 matches plus 2 other additional segments in a 2-hour show?
Speed matches.
But and a lot of those aren't matches that can get a 3-4 minute match.
Yeah.
Or they don't deserve a 3-4 minute match. Like
especially that main event.
Yeah, the elimination cage match, you could do that for 30 minutes itself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't need Lady Frost going out there and only having a 3-minute match on Collision.
Yeah, that does nothing for anybody.
So it'll be interesting to see how that does. Ratings are what they are nowadays. I don't put a whole bunch of stock into them, but I wonder how big of a hit Collision takes with Rumble being here. There's no other football on NBA wise. Nobody's really paying attention to. So it's literally just Rumble against Collision, and I don't know how bad of a ratings hit Collision's going to take, because the last time it was Collision, I think did somewhere in the 367, I think it was. So we'll see. I think it's going to be heavily skewed in a negative way for this week as far as total viewers that they lose because of it. All right,
Jason, your pick for Rumble?
I'm gonna go Cody. Just if he's not one, I'm going Cody.
Okay. All right. We have a
game this week.
Yes, we do. We'll load it up right now.
Oh, look at us getting fancy with the graphics.
All right. So my game this week is word association, this or that, and finishers. So I'm going to put up 2 people that basically do the same finishers. Which one do you like better? This or that?
Okay.
Very simple.
So not really word association. Okay. More of a pick-em, not really word association.
Right. Well, it's under the word associated category. I'll just say that. So first one, Macho Man's elbow drop, flying elbow drop, or the Kairi Sane's insane elbow.
Macho Man.
Macho Man. I'm picking Kairi.
Yeah, we know.
Chris picked Macho Man. Randy Orton's RKO or DDP's Diamond Cutter.
RKO.
I'm going to Diamond Cutter.
Yeah, I got to go to Diamond Cutter for originality.
Yeah, it was something unique back then.
Yeah, everybody does a cutter now.
Chris picked the RKO.
Yeah, of course he did.
Roman Reigns spear versus Rhino's gore.
I'll say the gore because it truly is Rhino's finisher. Roman wins matches other ways than just the spear.
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Yo, the gore for Rhino and ECW,
devastating. That's why I picked the gore. Devastating. Chris picked Roman Reigns. Shocking. I'm shocked he picked that. Kevin Nash jackknife powerbomb versus Sid Vicious powerbomb. Sid Vicious for me. I always like the powerbomb.
I go with Sid just because he didn't give a fuck whenever he powerbombed somebody. He was dropping.
There was no safety. There was no safety.
It was like Scott Steiner doing the freaking or LOD with the Doomsday or the Steiner Frankensteiner. Like yeah. Some of those. There was a clip going around on Twitter this week of Sid Vicious just powerbombing people, and I got sick to my stomach because I'm like, how did he not murder like 7 dudes right now?
I can care less about either. Give me Kevin Nash though.
Chris picked Nash. We have Booker T's bookend versus Becky Lynch manhandle slam.
Oh,
I wasn't gonna. I wasn't gonna put
Rock.
the Rocks in there because the Rock would have
The
automatically
Rock.
been the winner, so I had to change it up.
Yeah, The Rock. The Rock. Yeah, The Rock.
Chris picked Booker. I picked Booker also. The Eliminators, Total Elimination, or Ascension's Fall of Man.
Eliminators.
Eliminators.
That's freaking. I still see as vivid as the day it happened. Them hitting the total elimination on Francine. Like that
Yes.
clip is visual. It's like I'm watching it live right now. That was the most devastating finisher I think I've ever seen in my life.
When I first saw that, I was like, "What just happened?"
Yeah.
When I first ever saw it.
That was one. Like the Eliminators don't get enough credit for being innovative and coming up with moves at a time where tag teams weren't very innovative, because they were doing shit now that like you drop in 2023 and it's a part of a normal tag team match. But
Yes.
those two dudes, yeah, they were
Cronus and Saturn were something together.
crazy.
Yeah.
Saturn's another guy that's criminally underrated as far as in ring goes.
Yeah.
Overall. But
next, 2 more. RVD's 5-star frog splash or Eddie Guerrero's frog splash.
RVD.
Eddie.
The only person that I put up there on RVD's level is Montez. The height Tez gets on his frog splash is crazy.
Yeah.
But RVD sold the move as much as the person taking it.
Yeah. When he hit it, he was rolling around.
I got RVD.
RVD. Chris got RVD.
RVD was more double pump to me. He like way he like NBA Jams going up there, like
Dominique Wilkins in the slam dunk.
Eddie was more frog.
Yeah, he was.
He was.
The last one, CM Punk's GTS or Kenta's KO.
Kenta for originality because Punk stole the move.
Exactly.
I gotta go Punk because I haven't seen too many of Kenta's anything.
And
that was the last one.
Yep.
I got one for you that I saw on the internet this week, and I'll throw it out there as a live impromptu one. Arn Anderson Spinebuster or Ron Simmons Spinebuster?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Now they were done differently. Arn did the double scoop, and as you see the Spinebuster done today. Ron would pick you up with 2 hands, but he would throw you down. With that paw, that big ass bear paw in the middle of your chest, and slam you down with 1. Both of them probably the 2 best people for spine busters.
Yeah.
Honestly, I still love that move no matter who pulls it.
I got Arn just because of how crisply he hit that move. And it was almost like an RKO because he would pull it at any point in time out of nowhere in the match and be like, okay, like dude's dead. They won.
Yeah.
And it's talked about as the Arn Anderson Spinebuster. Like when your name is in front of the move, it's kind of hard to pick somebody else that does it better.
All right.
And Petey Williams has the best Canadian destroyer out of anybody.
Scott Demora.
Dustin Rhodes.
All right, so that is it.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate you guys for jumping in and hanging out with your boys this week. As always, join us live every Saturday for your favorite brunch bunch. Hit us up on all social media platforms at DunmarksPod. You can email the show at DunmarksPod@gmail.com. Let us know what you like, don't like about the show. We're always open to constructive criticism here to make and improve the viewing audience experience. Head on over to Pro Wrestling Tees, prowrestlingtees.com/DunmarksPod. Pick up some merch. We'll give you a live shout out on air. And Spotify. Head on over, download, build those numbers up. We got to get subscribers over there. Please click it. YouTube, hit the bell so you get notifications when we go live. Anything else, gentlemen?
Yes, two quick questions. We didn't touch on it last week, but Jungle Boy showing up at New Japan. Your thoughts on it?
I'm here for it.
Here for it.
I like the look. It's getting away from the Jungle Boy. I like it being defiant, as in, not I'm ripping up the contract to leave the company, but like, F you, I don't need your contract.
Mm-hmm.
You want to put me on the back burner for all this time and forget about me and suspend me and everything else? Nah, screw you, dude. Take your contract and shove it. I'm gonna go out here and just do what I need to do. So I'm here for it. I hope his style in the ring is different and it shows up. Um, but I like the look and the presentation as is right now.
Yeah, I'm here for it. When he ripped that AEW contract, to me, that was like ripping up your SmackDown contract and you'll be on Raw because they have a working relationship. So he'll be on Dynamite sooner or later again. So
There goes Donald just shooting up the veil of disbelief.
and also, the other breaking news that happened this week, Kevin Patrick was out as SmackDown commentary. Who do you think is going to take his spot?
Released altogether.
Yeah, he was released altogether. You knew he was on thin ice when they moved Michael Cole over there, try to get him up to speed with things. I do not want to see Vic Joseph called up.
No.
I don't think Vic is the answer.
I don't like him and Book together.
Yeah, even though I don't think Vic is, he's not my cup of tea. Him and Booker work well in NXT, so I keep that there. You got to bring in a true color guy. Know, I don't know if he would ever be open to returning, but I would pick up the phone and call Mauro Ranallo.
God, even worse. I was gonna say don't pick JR, but you.
Look, with that, they could use somebody with passion, like genuine passion, because all of them just sound like they're reading off a script.
Yeah, JBL's not there. Vince isn't there. You're going strictly to two-man boost, and you put Mauro and Corey together, and you have Cole and Wade. I'm okay with that, but just pulling Vic up isn't the answer, and I don't know.
That's not. No.
Who else they're going to have? Obviously, we're not going to find any answer out tonight because it's a pay-per-view, so you'll get Cole on the call tonight.
Yeah,
but you'll see there. Come next week, what they tend to do moving forward.
Football's done.
Pat is so busy.
But Pat, Nick Khan brought that up to him whenever he interviewed earlier in the week. And Pat he didn't say no on it immediately, but Pat's not a true color guy. Or Pat's not, he's not.
He's an analyst.
Yeah, so he works best playing off somebody. I don't know, I don't think you have anybody there right now that you can just plug in, unless you're gonna have Michael Cole pull double duty till you find somebody.
That's what they might do.
And Cole's more he's on the back end of his career, not the front end. So you think he would want to, on top of the 19 other roles that he has,
you wouldn't have Corey do color, or you want him to play off?
I don't think they would do this just because, but I think Corey could potentially be a Joey Styles where he does the whole show by himself.
No, I don't know if I could take that.
I don't think they would do that because that's not WWE style. But I think Corey could handle it. You got to bring in somebody with a name because, Jimmy Smith didn't work and Kevin Patrick didn't work. Mauro was great, but the relationship didn't work out based off of the factors that were there. Those have changed. I think him and Corey would line up really good together, but I don't see Mauro wanting to get back into the wrestling world.
No. All right. It's good. Anything else before quote?
10 years ago, yesterday was our Rumble. The most famous Rumble. We know they have pay-per-views since.
Well, we had a pay-per-view this past year, but yeah, they really booed the shit out of that one, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So quote my week, since we're doing all these quotes and everything now. My quote is from Sir Winston Churchill. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Also, courage is what it takes to sit down and listen. So courage is what it takes to stand up and speak, and it also what it takes to sit down and listen. So there goes your positivity for the weekend.
All right. Tune in tonight. Hit us up on social media. We'll be out there. Let us know as we talk through this Rumble live and get instant reactions. And then join us live next Saturday to break it down, the fallout, as well as everything else in the Mount Rushmore and Jabronis of the week from the world of pro wrestling that was. And go ahead, Donald, sign off how you want to sign off.
Yes, sign off. So, from our favorite person, Ric Flair, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And with this podcast, we are the men to beat. So come get some. Bye-bye.